All right, TGI Friday, August 27th, 2021. Some quick points here. Everybody wants to know about the contract. Here's where we're at. It will be going to the Workforce Committee this week coming up, and then every alderman will be receiving individual briefings on the agreement with a vote expected at the September 14th Wednesday meeting by the full City Council. I guess we'll all see what happens on that day. Second, we had scheduled arbitration yesterday for cancellation of RDOs along with the extended tours, along with the Sergeants, Lieutenants, and Captains Union. That turned into a mediation session. There was a mediated settlement, but the final draft and language is not on paper yet. So once that is out, we'll give you the information on what we're looking at going forward. But understand, as far as contractual violations for that grievance and arbitration, it was not very solid ground to begin with. As far as a contract violation, we were more attacking the effects of the abuses of the contractual rights that the city has and what it did to our members with the continuation of long tours of duty, long stretches, weeks at end, and 12 to 14-hour shifts. I think we at least now have a ground floor agreement going forward that will kind of be revisited in phase 2 of contract negotiations in the months to come. And like I said, once that's in final language, that mediated settlement, we'll put it out to the membership there. Vaccinations, lastly. Here's where we're at with vaccinations and the mandate. None of the unions, Lodge 7, sergeants, lieutenants, or captains have any clue. I'm not even sure that the city attorneys have any clue why the mayor felt the need to get out over her skis and talk about a mandate or else come October 16th. The Sun-Times was pretty spot on when it said there was no need to do that when you're talking about negotiating. And the reality is there really wasn't any negotiations going on. This all just kind of came up in a matter of 48 hours, and she turned from we're going to talk about it to here's the new rules going forward. But we met again this afternoon, the sergeants, the lieutenants, the captains, and Lodge 7 representation with the attorneys to kind of formulate a strategy going forward. Until the city puts something in final draft form, all we right now is have initial draft and language that they're looking to do. They have conceded the fact that they have to come to us and negotiate some of these issues and the effects of them. What that ends up looking like in the next week or 2 weeks, we shall see. But once we have a final product, then we can determine what our next step will be legally speaking, whether it's the courts, whether it's the labor board, or whatever. But just understand, we've been strategizing on what we're going to do and how we're going to approach this. There's several different options depending on what the city wants to do, whether they want to play hardball, whether they want to go a little bit more like the state of Illinois and the governor's program of testing being an option. But right now the mayor said that's not an option. I don't know how that all pans out, but we're advising our members to just keep your powder dry, stand down, and just wait to see what happens over the next week or so. It will work itself out one way or the other, and we'll go from there. Lastly, specific to the vaccines. Regrettably, during our golf outing on Wednesday, Fran Spielman had called me for comments about the mayor's mandated deadline. I've had several interviews, conversations with Fran over the year plus I've been the president of this lodge. And there's been many things that have been said in both directions that never made it into the newspaper. Some of the quotes that were attributed to me, I'm not going to say I didn't say them because I did, but they were off the cuff and they were not supposed to be on the record. There was other topics that were being discussed that were part of the record. I guess a sensationalized headline was more important than just, I don't want to say getting the truth out, but using some common sense. And that's why I called Fran Spielman and told her, don't call me, I'll call you from now on if I have something to say. Because I'm not going to sit there and preface everything that comes out of my mouth to say it's off the record or it's on the record. It shouldn't have to be like that. Some common sense needs to take over. But that being said, I understand that some of my comments offended some people. I've gotten emails up both directions. people who said, shame on you, and other ones who say, we get your point and you're right. So let me start with the people who were offended, those members of the Jewish community. In no way was I trying to tie forced vaccinations to the atrocities of the Holocaust, which is why I never used the word Holocaust. I should not have made the reference like I did to the showers, and for that I am sorry. The point I was trying to make is that when governments, whether it's Nazi Germany or modern day Chicago, try to start, or any other major city like New York and many others who are doing this, try to create policies that mandate their employees first to have to do things to their bodies, it will not stop there. You are opening up the door for the citizens to be next. What happens when they come knocking on your door, or you go to renew your city sticker, or your water bill gets your water supply gets turned off, and they say, provide proof of vaccination and we'll turn your water back on. Everybody thinks that those kind of concepts are far-fetched, but many things in history have been far-fetched until they became a reality. But that's what happens when you allow government to take more and more of your freedom and liberty away, inch by inch by inch. We have not had a COVID death, thankfully, since last fall. Now all of a sudden, it is an issue that needs to be addressed, as if we've continued to experience these tragedies. We've adapted to a new reality. There is no reason for this mandate. Myself, I have been vaccinated. That was a personal choice I made because I want to be able to travel without restrictions. That's why I got the COVID shot. Many others decided not to, and I absolutely respect and understand their position on why they don't want to do it. I can tell you all 4 of the police unions are united in sticking together and coming together in fighting the city in a mandate. I don't know where it all ends up, but I just wanted to address the fact of the Sun-Times comments. They were no way, shape, or form meant to belittle the Jewish population, the Holocaust in general. I myself have visited the grounds of Auschwitz. It is the most solemn, sacred ground I have ever set foot on. It's pretty humbling to walk and experience what those poor people had to go through. But we need to learn from our history so we do not end up repeating the mistakes of the past. We cannot let governments continue to erode our freedoms and dictate every facet of our life. Our membership spoke loudly, and I can tell you they are absolutely, even the ones that were vaccinated, against a mandated vaccination program. So I don't know what the city's position is going to be if thousands of officers are willing to sit at home instead of get vaccinated. We already have a serious manpower issue in this department. It will only get worse if this forced mandate becomes a reality come October 16th. The ball is in the city's court at this point. Stay tuned. And again, I just want to apologize for anybody that was offended. It was never my intention, and those comments weren't even supposed to be repeated. But it was out of sheer frustration of a dictator on the 5th floor of City Hall who thinks she can do whatever she wants to do and nobody's going to challenge her. Well, this isn't just John Catanzara speaking or the FOP Lodge 7. This is all 4 of the police unions. It is city unions from all different walks, whether it's laborers. We've contacted all of these, and we know that there's pushback from every labor union and concerns about this mayor's mandate going forward. So she can try and pin it all on me. I'm used to it. I wish she was as good at being a mayor as she is throwing shots, shade, and insults. But regrettably, that's her only one-card trick, that and the race card. So until next Friday, have a safe weekend. Thank you.